Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're tackling something that I know is just so deeply universal. We're looking at the architecture of a regretless life. I mean, we all share this profound desire, right? We all want to lead a life that eventually earns our own self-respect. And hey, hopefully it's one filled with events and lessons worth sharing to inspire the people around us. Because honestly, our future quality of life totally depends on the choices we are making right now. Let's get into it. But, so often a reality looks a little more like the quote we're looking at here. I should not have done that. I should not have bought that. I should not have behaved that way. Wow. We've absolutely all been there, haven't we? Staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., running through this endless litany of past choices. It is just an incredibly heavy emotional burden, constantly looking back and repenting over decisions we literally can no longer change. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The anatomy of regret, and specifically, our mental traps. So, how and why do we actually build these painful mental traps for ourselves? Well, it usually starts with a very predictable cycle. Step 1, we seek momentary satisfaction. Step 2, we gain instant gratification. And step 3, we experience future repent. It is the ultimate trap of short-term thinking. When we prioritize instant gratification, which, let's be honest, is super tempting, we almost always end up sabotaging our long-term future. And what do those actions actually look like in the real world? They aren't always these dramatic, life-altering events right off the bat. Actually, they're mostly just tangible, everyday actions. Talking to someone, changing ourselves to fit in, buying something we don't really need, marrying someone, quitting a job, or even starting a business. Every single day, we're taking physical and mental actions that act as triggers. The whole abstract philosophy of regret is really grounded in these very real, totally normal choices we all navigate all the time. Which brings us to section 2, the illusion of control, looking at external factors. Now, this brings us to the core problem we all face. It's our dangerous tendency to unfairly blame ourselves for things we simply cannot dictate. We make a decision today based purely on our current reality. But the outcome, whether it's positive or negative, that might not manifest until years later. It's almost like a weird form of time travel. There's this massive disconnect between making a choice and the uncontrollable outcome actually arriving. Yet somehow, we punish our past selves as if we had a crystal ball. And this brilliantly illustrates the cognitive shift we urgently need to make. On one hand, we have the outcome. It's dependent on external factors, and honestly, no matter what we do, it is entirely out of our control. But on the other hand, we have the process. Now, this is our mindset, our reaction, and how we handle those repercussions. And the best part, this is entirely within our control. Rather than obsessing over the end result, we absolutely have to start focusing entirely on the process. Let's look at how to do that in Section 3, Ingredients of a Decision, focusing on our present reality. So, if we want to move away from all that anxiety about the future, we need an empowering, process-oriented framework grounded right here, right now in our present reality. Notice what our true tools actually are. We've got our experiences and knowledge, our maturity and rationality, our discipline, our beliefs and values, our support system, and our future planning. At any stage of life, every single person makes decisions based only on the specific resources they possess in that exact moment. I mean, you literally cannot use tools you do not have yet. It's impossible. But to use those tools effectively, decision-making demands real effort. We really have to assess possible outcomes, which requires separating the essential from the inconsequential. Like, what do we truly value in life, and what is just unnecessary noise? Because if you don't have a crystal clear understanding of your true values, those inconsequential distractions, they will easily derail you, for sure. Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds into our final topic, building a regretless future and putting it all into practice. So, how do we actually put this all into practice to eliminate future regret entirely? Well, we kind of have to redefine what a successful choice actually is. A good decision isn't defined by a perfect outcome. Actually, it's a calculated, well-thought-out choice made using all the resources currently at hand, becoming a matter of pride regardless of the after effects. It's a fully prepared, deeply intentional process. It's about doing your absolute best with what you have right now. So, the crucial point is perfectly captured right here. Later in life, we must not reflect back and see a better choice in our hands, which could have earned a better result for us. True regretlessness doesn't mean your life went perfectly. Let's be real, life never goes perfectly. It means knowing with absolute certainty that you couldn't have possibly made a better choice with the specific knowledge, maturity, and support you had at that very time. Which leaves us with this final, powerful question to consider. Think about this for a second. If you knew you absolutely couldn't control the outcome, how would you make today's biggest choice? Let that thought just kind of lift the heavy weight of decision paralysis right off your shoulders. You can't control tomorrow's results, but you absolutely can master today's process. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope it helps you build the architecture of your very own regretless life.